Hey there, everybody, it's me, Jason the Cartoon Fan. For this cartoon merchandise video, I've decided to do something a little different. Normally in this series of videos, I just film the merchandise featured placed on top of my bed, or the bed of the guest room in whoever I'm visiting's house, in the case of videos where I'm filming outside of my own home. For this installment, however, I'm filming me showing you the merchandise I bought. Not only does this make filming these kinds of videos easier, since I have the camera placed in a stationary area where it can film me so I don't have to hold on to it for the whole video, but I think it builds a bigger connection between me and you viewers, since you can actually see my face while I'm talking about the merchandise featured in this video. Let me know what you think about this new format by leaving a comment down below. If you like the way I made my cartoon merchandise videos previously, then I'm willing to sacrifice my shaky hands in exchange for a return to the old format. However, if you like this new format more, I'll keep this format as the default one for my next merchandise videos. But enough technical talk. Let's discuss the topic of this video. They're zany to the max and they got baloney in their slacks. They're the Animaniacs. Originally airing on Fox as part of its children's programming block Fox Kids from 1993 to 1995, then on the WB as part of its own children's programming block Kids WB from the network's launch in 1995 until 1998, with reruns continuing to air on the network until 2000, and lasting for a total of 99 22-minute long episodes. Animaniacs is often considered to be not just one of the greatest cartoons of the 1990s, but one of the greatest cartoons of all time. And after watching a few episodes, it's pretty easy to understand why people think so fondly of this show. The show is chock full of smart writing, quirky characters, and brilliant slapstick during a time when moral guardians were complaining about cartoons being too violent for children, which was a mentality that Animaniacs frequently and viciously mocked. Besides the wisecracking main stars, the Warner Brothers, Yakko and Wacko, and also the Warner sister Dot, the show was also home to such hilarious characters as Slappy the Squirrel, Buttons and Mindy, Rita and Runt, the Goodfeathers, an obvious parody of the definitely not for kids Warner Brothers movie Goodfellas, and of course, Pinky and the Brain, who became so popular that they received their own show after Animaniacs moved new episodes from Fox to the WB. The show was mostly just laughs, but it also had some catchy songs that taught me the nations of the world, the names of all the American states and their capitals, and the anatomy of the solar system, among many other topics, thus creating a special connection between me and the show when I first watched it. Speaking of which, a special thing that makes Animaniacs unique from other cartoons that originally aired in the Silver Age of animation, which I consider to be 1987 to 2005, and aren't producing new episodes still, like SpongeBob and The Simpsons, is that the show is still a well-known series to the general public, and as it has been continued to stay officially available to watch for over 2 decades after its initial cancellation, with emphasis on initial. After the WB stopped its reruns of the show in 2000, Animaniacs began airing reruns on Cartoon Network, where it stayed until 2002. That year, Animaniacs began airing reruns on Nickelodeon, and it continued airing there until 2005. Unfortunately, Nick's airings of the show shortened its amazing theme song to 20 seconds, and adding insult to injury, Nick photoshopped its logo onto every spot of those 20 seconds that they could possibly Photoshop them onto. And you know how every episode of Animaniacs ends the show's theme song with a different lyric that rhymes with their Animania and Totally Insaney? Like, here's Mark Twainy, Pinky and the Brainy, Bowling Laney, and my all-time favorite variant, well, Nick's airings of the show replaced the opening gag in every single episode with one where Dodd is sitting in front of a crystal ball. She's singing Nickelaney, and the Nickelodeon logo appears inside the crystal ball. It's like they really, really wanted you to know that Animaniacs was airing on their network. Not even Disney is like that with the boatload of properties they've acquired over the years. Imagine if Disney did something like this for Freeform's airings of The Simpsons, where they just put the Disney logo onto every single little spot that they could possibly put it on. And every single episode had that Disney-inspired couch gag animated by Eric Goldberg. Yeah, that would be pretty tiring. Although the show didn't air reruns on television for the remainder of the 2000s decade, at least here in the United States, it still aired reruns on TV overseas during that time. The show never got completely forgotten by those outside of the 90s kids who grew up with it during its original run on Fox/the WB, as the characters still appeared in a new video game every now and then, and the show started getting released on DVD in 2005, shortly after the show stopped airing reruns on Nick. However, it wasn't until the next decade that Animaniacs received another wave of popularity that was on par with its popularity during its original run. And we can all thank a certain little but sadly now defunct television channel for that. And its name is the Hub. This was how I, as well as many other people who grew up in this millennium, first saw Animaniacs through its airings on the Hub network, which aired reruns of the show from 2012 all the way up until the network became Discovery Family in 2014. During this time, Animaniacs became just as popular with kids of the 2010s as they were with kids of the 1990s, who might even have been old enough to be the parents of those 2010s kids, or at the very least be related to those 2010 kids in some way. The decidedly 1990s pop culture references may have been lost on those viewers who were introduced to the show on the Hub. I know that I didn't get most of those pop culture references when I first saw the show, but the show's smart writing and wacky slapstick antics were still just as big of a hit with kids of, geez, it's been last decade? Man, I can't believe we're already in the 2020s, as they were with the kids in the 90s. And the Hub knew it. From early 2013 until early 2014, Animaniacs was treated by the Hub the same way that Teen Titans Go is treated now by Cartoon Network. They frequently aired reruns of the show. They made new promos for it that brought the show's original cast back to reprise their roles. And they aired marathons of the show during any holiday that they felt like running a marathon of the show on. It got to the point where, at one point in 2013, Animaniacs, which, keep in mind, at this time was nothing but 20-year-old reruns, was doing better in the ratings than new episodes of the Hub's other most popular series, My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. And when you consider how popular that show was during its first few years of new episodes, that's saying a lot. Unfortunately, Animaniacs was one of the many, many different shows from the Hub that got axed off the channel's lineup because of the network's transition to Discovery Family. But thankfully, the show didn't need to wait very long to recapture its new generation of fans. As in July 2016, the show was made available for streaming on Netflix, where it stayed until October 2017 when it moved to rival streaming service Hulu. It was the show's popularity on Netflix combined with the success of reboots like Fuller House that convinced Warner Brothers to bring Animaniacs back with new episodes, which is the reason why I said that it was the initial cancellation earlier. In March 2018, Warner Brothers announced that Animaniacs will be returning with 2 brand new seasons for Hulu sometime in 2020. Although we don't know whether those 2 seasons are going to be 2 new seasons of the same ongoing show, kind of like that new season of Samurai Jack that was made for Adult Swim, or the first 2 seasons of a reboot of the series. Either way, though, I'm actually excited for this upcoming new version of Animaniacs, because unlike most cartoon reboots and revivals, the majority of the show's original voice cast, including Rob Paulsen, Jess Harnell, Tress MacNeille, and Maurice LaMarche, as well as most of the show's original crew members, most notably my boy Steven Spielberg, are returning to work on the show for this upcoming new version of it. The only 2 notable people from the show's original cast and crew, as far as I know, who are not returning are, of course, the late Phil Hardman, since he's dead and has been dead for decades now, but also, unfortunately, and pretty shockingly too, the show's creator, Tom Ruegger. Because of this last point, there is a chance that this new version of Animaniacs might crash and burn, since most TV shows aren't as good as they used to be when their creator is no longer involved with them. But I still have confidence that this new version of Animaniacs will be at least decent, if not just as good as the original. In case the new version of Animaniacs does crash and burn, however, you can still watch the original show, either through Hulu or, of course, this DVD set, Animaniacs: The Complete Series. Let me count. A 19-disc DVD collection that features all 99 original episodes of the show, the direct-to-video movie from 1999, Wacko's Wish, which serves as the grand finale for the original run of the show, and special features. Oh, we're going to get to those in a little bit. But before we do, I want to give a quick shout out to a YouTuber named Haley EMS. She's a sweet girl with a lovely singing voice who loves Animaniacs and Pinky and the Brain, and also appreciates Rob Paulsen, Jess Harnell, Tress MacNeille, and Maurice LaMarche as much as I do. She mostly does singing on her channel, but she's also made some videos of her doing impressions of the Animaniacs characters. The link to her channel, as well as a link to one of her Animaniacs related videos, will be in the description. If you like what you see of her, please support Haley by subscribing to her channel. She's been making videos since 2009, much like my friend Andy Kishore, but only has 256 subscribers as of the time of me recording and uploading this video. She deserves way more subscribers than that. and I hope she eventually achieves her dream of becoming a voice actor for cartoons, which, if you're watching this video, Haley, is a dream I share with you, so we're both in this together. Alright, now it's time to talk about the history of how this DVD set came to be. As I hinted at a little bit earlier, Animaniacs began airing, well, not airing, it began being released on DVD shortly after the show stopped airing its reruns on Nickelodeon. The first season, which consists of the first 25 episodes of the show, was released on DVD in 2005. The second season, consisting of the next 25 episodes, was released on the DVD in 2006. And the third season, consisting of the 25 episodes that came after the ones that make up season 2, and includes both the final 15 episodes of the show that originally aired on Fox and the first 10 episodes of the show that originally aired on the WB, was released on DVD in 2007. Unfortunately, though, the show's fourth and, at the time, final season, consisting of the final 24 episodes of the original run of the series, wasn't released on DVD until 2012. With Warner Brothers Entertainment, not to be confused with the Warner Brothers of Animaniacs, officially stating that this was because Season 3 initially didn't sell as well as the first two seasons did. Many people believe that this was due to the common consensus most die-hard Animaniacs fans had on the show, that being that the middle of Season 3, to be more specific when the show moved its premieres from Fox to the WB, was when the show declined in quality. In my opinion, the show was still enjoyable, but the final two seasons of the show aren't as funny as the first two. Seasons 3 and 4 are still good in my eyes, though. I especially liked Mighty Wacko at the Bat, a hilarious parody of Disney's Casey at the Bat, which gave the story a happy ending instead of the sad one found in Disney's version, while also making fun of how Disney's movies from the Renaissance era of the company tended to use the exact same formula, and the two-part Hooray for North Hollywood special. Despite being released on VHS in 1999, 1 year after Warner Brothers began releasing its content on DVD, and also having a few trailers included on various Warner Brothers DVDs released in the early 2000s, including my Scooby-Doo Winter Wonder Dog DVD, Wacko's Wish was never officially released on DVD until 2014, 15 years after the movie was originally released, and 2 years after the rest of the series was released onto the disc format. I saw all of those older releases in stores, but never bothered picking any of them up, since seasons 1, 2, and 3 each costed $20, while season 4 was $15, so I felt like they were too expensive for my taste, even though I love Animaniacs to this very day. In fact, it, along with its predecessor, Tiny Toon Adventures, and spin-off Pinky and the Brain, are tied at number 5 in my top 5 favorite cartoon shows ever, behind only, in order of lowest to highest on my list, Phineas and Ferb, Steven Universe, SpongeBob, and The Simpsons. Thankfully, though, I didn't need to wait too long after the show was completed on DVD for me to finally own the entire series on physical media, as in 2018, for the show's 25th anniversary, Warner Brothers released this complete series box set for the show, taking all of the individual season releases, as well as Wacko's Wish's one and only DVD release, and putting them together in one convenient package, with a price tag, or to be more accurate, a price sticker, of $40, which might seem a bit on the expensive side, but still cost much less than buying the contents of the complete series set on DVD individually. And in January 2020, a year and a half after the box set's November 2018 release date, I finally purchased myself a copy of this set at Walmart, using the gift card that my great uncle Bob got for me as my Christmas gift from him. So So, now that that very long introduction is out of the way, let's actually take a look at the box set itself. Alright, so here's the front. On the top it says Steven Spielberg presents Animaniacs, and then says the complete series. Then we see all the Warner siblings, Dot, Wacko, and Yakko. And then right over here we see the Warner Brothers tower that they live in. Then on the bottom left corner, there's a sticker that says 25th anniversary because, like I mentioned earlier, this box set was released for the show's 25th anniversary. And on the bottom right corner, it mentions that it has Wacko's Wish. Which, by the way, is actually my friend Brendan, the cartoon and movie fan's favorite movie ever. Here's the left side of the box. It says Steven Spielberg presents Animaniacs, the complete series, DVD icon, and the Warner Brothers logo. Top of the box, same deal as on the left side of the box. The right side of the box, which houses the cases for the discs that are included in this set. And then here's the bottom, which is some legal information. Usually on Warner Brothers' DVD releases, they put this legal information on the back of the package. But since this is a pretty big box set, I guess they just decided to put it at the bottom. Alrighty, so here is the back of the box. It has the Warner siblings being chased on the Warner Brothers studio lot by Ralph the Guard, and the description reads, "All the laughs in this one monumental collection. Join the fun and all the risk-taking and brain-slapping moments as we celebrate our favorite rambunctious rascals of Riot in this complete series collection. The unforgettable Animaniacs siblings, Yakko, Wacko, and Dot, are on the loose, running rampant on the Warner Brothers movie lot and around the globe, taking the Warner Brothers tradition of anything goes animation and going further, a lot further. Get ready for a wild ride through all 99 episodes, featuring pals like Pinky and the Brain and Slappy the Squirrel, as well as the Animaniacs feature-length movie Wacko's Wish. And don't forget to say, 'Hello, nurse.'" Sorry, my bad imitation of Yakko and Wacko whenever they see that hot nurse walking around. Alrighty, so just a little further look at the back of the box in case you wanted to see the art a little bit better. Okay, so now that we've taken a look at the outside, let's see what we got inside. Alrighty, so the box set consists of these two thick cases, as well as this insert, which they decided to put in the actual box itself instead of storing it in one of these cases, which I guess is a little bit inconvenient, but you know, it is what it is. So, the insert is a episode guide. So the inside lists all the episodes as well as the special features included on each of the disc for each season. And there's some pretty nice looking artwork alongside it, so that's cool. And it also gives a brief summary of Wacko's Wish with some more nice looking artwork, so that's cool. Alrighty, so let's take a look at both of these cases. So here is the first case featuring seasons 1 and 2, front, spine, and the back. And here's the inside. So here is Season 1, Disc 1, featuring Yakko. Season 1, Disc 2, featuring Dot. Season 1, Disc 3, featuring Wacko. Season 1, Disc 4, featuring the Good Feathers. And Season 1, Disc 5, featuring Dr. Scratch and Sniff and Hello Nurse. Yes, that is actually the nurse's name. And then here is Season 2, Disc 1, featuring Yakko again. Season 2, Disc 2, featuring Wacko again. Season 2, Disc 3, featuring Dot again. Season 2, Disc 4, featuring Yakko, Wacko, and Dot together. And Season 2, Disc 5, featuring my boy Steven Spielberg along with the Warner siblings. So that's cool that they put him on the disc. That's nice. Alright, so here is the second case, which features Seasons 3 and 4, as well as Wacko's Wish, which they mentioned at the bottom here. Front, spine, and the back, and the inside. So here is Season 3, Disc 1, featuring Dot again. Season 3, Disc 2, featuring Wacko again. Season 3, Disc 3, featuring Yakko again. Season 3, Disc 4, featuring Ralph the Guard. And Season 3, Disc 5, featuring a few miscellaneous characters from the show. And then we're in the final season, Season 4. Season 4, Disc 1, featuring Yakko again. Season 4, Disc 2, featuring Wacko again. And Season 4, Disc 3, featuring Dot again. And then finally, here is Wacko's Wishes disc. As far as I know, these are the exact same discs that you would get if you were to buy these volumes and also Wacko's Wish on DVD individually. So now it's time to talk about the special features. Or, you know what? Even better, since I don't really talk about these that much in my DVD-related videos, let's actually talk about how the content is presented. All of the episodes, as well as Wacko's Wish, are in their original 1.33 to 1 4:3 aspect ratio and can be watched in either their original 2.0 stereo sound or a remastered Dolby Digital 5.1 surround sound mix, as well as in Spanish and French, complete with English, Spanish, and French subtitles. No matter how you watch the show, though, it looks and sounds pretty nice, with only occasional instances of dust, specks, and fadedness popping up in the picture, and on a much rarer basis than you would expect for a show that's now nearly 27 years old. It's hard to imagine the show in a better quality than it shows up here on this complete series set, unless WB decides to give the show a Blu-ray release, which would be nice, but is something that I seriously doubt is going to happen. I couldn't really hear any major differences between the stereo and 5.1 surround soundtracks for the original English version of the show, though, besides a few instances of sound effects being used on one of the extra 3 speakers in the 5.1 mix, as opposed to the stereo soundtrack keeping those sounds within the only 2 speakers such a system of sound creates. Now let's talk about the special features. One thing I was nervous about when I first saw the package for this DVD set was that the extras from the original season releases of Animaniacs on DVD would be removed. Well, they could have been removed for this complete series set, since the back of the box doesn't mention that the set contains any special features. And a few months prior to the release of Animaniacs' complete series set, Warner Brothers Entertainment released a complete series set for the Hanna-Barbera classic The Flintstones that came in a very similar package to the one used for this set. And that complete series set removed all the special features from the show's individual season DVD releases from the mid-2000s, as WB downgraded the number of discs for each season of that show by 1. Fortunately, though, as you can tell from my lengthy introduction, as well as by the set's insert, the same thing did not happen with Animaniacs. The content on each disc is 100% exactly the same as you would get if you bought the original season releases of the show, as well as Wacko's Wish, on DVD individually. So that means all the special features have been ported over. The first 3 seasons' DVD releases all have a fair amount of special features. First off, Season 1 features Animaniacs Live, a featurette where Maurice LaMarche, the voice of the Brain, who I actually got to meet at my local pop culture convention, Stockton Con, back in 2017, interviews Rob Paulsen, Jess Harnell, and Tress MacNeille, the voices of Yakko, Wacko, and Dot respectively, with Paulson also doing the voice of Pinky. In this featurette, the cast recalls highlights of both their careers as a whole and the series itself, and it can be found on that season's third disc. Next, season 2 features The Writers Flip They Had No Script, in another featurette in which LaMarche returns to interview the writers of the show, who have a discussion about their favorite episodes of the series. It can be found on that season's 5th, which is also its final, disc. Season 3, on the other hand, features not just one, but 2 special features, both of which can be found on that season's final disc, which, as was the case with Season 2, is that season's 5th disc. The first of the 2 Season 3 extras is a featurette titled They Can't Help It If They're Cute, They're Just Drawn That Way, which once again features LaMarche as the host. This time around, he interviews the character designers, storyboard artists, and animators of Animaniacs, who reflect on their career during their run working on the show, drawing the characters of the series, and actually show us how to draw Yakko, Wacko, and Dot. I always love seeing featurettes where the animators of a cartoon draw that cartoon's characters, even though I personally suck at drawing, which is why I only got a C in my 1 year of art class. Not joking about that either. Finally, there's They're Totally Insane, in Cadets with Richard Stone, a tribute to the late composer of Animaniacs, hosted by, you guessed it, Maurice LaMarche, who talks to us about how Animaniacs was one of the very last American cartoons to use a live studio orchestra for its music, a tradition that, based on a leaked image of its production, seems to be living on, albeit with a different, currently unknown composer, for the upcoming new version of Animaniacs, which is awesome, since The Simpsons and Family Guy are the only other 2 American cartoons that are still currently producing new episodes for television that still use live studio orchestras for their music. And even then, those shows have been in production since the 90s. It's not like Animaniacs, where it ended in the late 90s and now it's coming back. Those shows have been in production since the 90s. The last recent American cartoon to use a live orchestra for its music, in case you were wondering, was Nickelodeon's Harvey Beaks back in 2014. Unfortunately, Season 4, as well as Wacko's Wishes DVD, don't have any extras, which is sad, especially in the case of Wacko's Wish, since it was the series finale for the original run of the show. So it would have been nice to see a featurette about the surviving cast and crew reflect on the series ending and how grateful they were about being able to work on it. Although we do get to hear a little bit about that in the interview with Paulson, McNeil, and Harnell on the Season 1's DVD. But it's not surprising, since most of WB's recent DVD releases for older TV shows are bare bones. Plus, I think having 2 extras on Season 3's DVD release, as opposed to just 1 like on the first 2 seasons' DVD releases, makes up for Season 4 not having any extras on its DVD release, since the final featurette is dedicated to the show's original composer, Richard Stone, who sadly passed away shortly after the show wrapped up its production of the original run. And so is the final episode of Season 4, and therefore the original run of the series, which is titled The Animaniacs Suite, and is a musical tribute to the entire show that is nothing but an extended edition of the instrumental version of the show's theme song, set to a montage of clips representing the show's highlights. Besides, the 4 extras that we do get here are of a very high quality. They're not some 15-minute promotional material made for television that looks at certain parts of the show's production in very brief time. They're new, nicely filmed and edited mini documentaries that were made specifically for those season DVD releases, and are approximately 50 minutes long each. And That length is over twice the length of a typical episode of the show, minus commercials. So they provide a lot of very insightful information about the amazing cast and crew of the show without becoming dry like some bonus features about the production of a movie or TV show can get. Because of the fine AV quality, nice packaging, and high quality bonus features, I would give Animaniacs the complete series a solid 5 out of 5. However, whether or not I would recommend this set depends on the situation you have in regards to if you already own the older DVD releases of the show or not. If you do own the individual DVD releases of seasons 1 through 4 in Wacko's Wish, then you don't need to buy this set because, like I mentioned earlier, the content is 100% exactly the same as those older releases, so you're not missing out on anything. That is, unless you're someone like Jay's Blu-rays who's picky about shelf space, since this box set takes up approximately half as much space as all 5 of Animaniacs' older individual releases when they're put together on the shelf. However, if you're like I was and didn't buy any of those older releases, or maybe you own 1 or 2 but not all of said releases, then I definitely recommend adding this box set to your collection. Especially since you'll save approximately $40 if you choose to buy this set over the show's individual DVD releases. Alright, that's it for this video. I didn't expect it to be as long as it ended up being, but I knew it was going to be longer than all of my previous DVD review videos, since I was talking about a show that I love nearly to death, but haven't really talked about before on this channel. So I felt like it was necessary for me to give that very long introduction in the first half of this video. This, combined with the fact that I actually wrote a script for this video, has made it one of my favorite videos, not just on this channel, but during my entire 4.5 runs so far, for me to work on. I would put it behind only my comparison video, the physical media releases for Gravity Falls, which was another long video of mine, in that regard. So yeah, if you like this video, please be sure to give it a like, and make sure to, if you haven't already, to consider subscribing. And also, please make sure to check out Haley's channel and her videos. Haley, you are a very sweet, beautiful person, and I really hope that you achieve your dreams that I share with you. Alright, that's it. This is Jason the Cartoon Fan, signing off.